Now the latest around the wide world of tropics. Tropical Weather Bulletin for June the 6th. June 6, 2021, day 157 of the year. Nothing nameable is active right now. 28 storms have formed so far this year. Kicking things off with the Atlantic. There we go. It is still pretty quiet on day 6 of hurricane season. Still fairly quiet with no areas of interest for the foreseeable future, and hopefully this period of quiet will last for quite some time. Over in the Eastern Pacific we have 92E, which we are currently giving a 90% chance of formation within the next 5 days. This is expected to become a tropical cyclone in the next few days. Over in the West Pacific, Choi 1 is dead. There is a 30% area of interest in the South China Sea, and there is also a 10% area of interest over in the Philippine Sea, both of which have low chances of formation. However, they still could form fairly soon. Over in the North Indian, it is also fairly quiet in this part of the world. No areas of interest are expected to develop in the next 5 days. Jumping back into the North Atlantic, over in the satellite imagery, as the Atlantic goes dark, it is still fairly quiet on the Atlantic front. Once again, we hope this period of quiet will last for quite some time. Back over in the Eastern Pacific, you can see 92E with a 90% chance of formation. It is there bubbling and churning away. Like I mentioned previously, it is expected to form into a tropical cyclone over in the next few days. Over in the Western Pacific, you can see the South China Sea AOI to the left of your screen over at 30%, and there is also the 10% area of interest over in the Philippine Sea, both of which have low chances of formation. However, it is not given that they will or will not form. Sea surface temperatures, the Western Pacific is still very warm. The North Indian Ocean continues to warm up, and the Atlantic is also warming up as well. However, the South China Sea and the Bay of Bengal are registering 30+ degrees still, so that area of interest over in the South China Sea has pretty favourable conditions, hence why it's been given a 30% chance. Sea surface temperature anomalies. The Eastern Pacific is still a pretty big blue blob, which means cooler than average temperatures, apart from that one area just to the southern Mexico coast. The Atlantic is still above average, minus the small portion from Virginia over to the United Kingdom. And the Western Pacific is also warmer than average. The North Indian is also above average, apart from a small bit in the Arabian Sea, which is cooler than average. On this day, June 6, 2005, we had Typhoon Nasat, Pagasa named Dante, which reached Category 4 intensity for the third and final time. It peaked at Category 4 for its third and final time today, 2005. Next up in the Atlantic storm list, we have Bill followed by Claudette. Next up in the Eastern Pacific, we have Carlos, which we could be seeing fairly shortly, and next up followed by Dolores. Over in the Central Pacific on list 1, we are still waiting on Hone. Over in the Western Pacific on list 4, we are still waiting on Kogima, followed by Champi. Over in the North Indian, we are waiting on Gulab, then followed by Shaheen. Up next in the Australian region, we are waiting on Paddy, then followed by Ruby. And in the Southwest Indian, if it forms before the end of this month, we are waiting on Kanga. And finally, over in the Fiji region, we are waiting on Cody, followed by Dovi. That's all for tonight's Tropical Weather Bulletin. We will be back with another Tropical Weather Bulletin tomorrow night.